This video today is going to be a lot different than I was hoping it was going to be. I was hoping to make a video today showing someone a gun that I just bought that I've always wanted and I finally found. But unfortunately, that's not what this video is going to be because of the little fact that I live in Washington and we have universal background checks. Well, you might say to yourself, well, how did a universal background check stop you from getting a gun if you're legal to own it? I guess you're not legal to own it if you couldn't get it. Well, that's not always true. And this little rant that I'm about to subject you to, it's a perfect example of why that's not always true and why these types of laws don't really stop crime. They just stop legal law-abiding citizens like myself from conducting private transaction without a hassle. Well, it all started yesterday when I was in a live chat. And before I go any further here, I'm going to tell you that today is July 4th. And I'm telling you that for two reasons. One, so if you hear anything in the background, any noise, that's not me, that's fireworks. And two, because people don't seem to realize that video isn't live. Sometimes when you see me saying something on a video, that could have been a long time ago. People get confused really easy on the internet. So this is July 4th. Yesterday would have been Sunday, July 3rd, and that's kind of important. So yesterday, Sunday, July 3rd, I was in a live chat. While I'm in that live chat, I'm looking through my local forums. And in the classified section, a gun that I've always wanted pops up. And I'm like, oh, I've always wanted one of these. Every time I've seen one in the past, they've been really overpriced, but this one is fairly priced and it's close to me. Well, even though the ad just went up, I know I'm not the first person to respond. I'm like the third person to respond. So I'm like, oh, crap, I'm probably not even going to get it. But I send the message anyway. Well, just a few minutes later, I get a response saying, hey, whoever can come up with the money today can have this gun. I've had multiple people want it, but whoever can pay me today can get it. Well, of course, I send back a message saying, cash in hand right now, come to the FFL, done deal. They contact me back, they say, sure, sounds good, and we both head to the FFL. Well, we get there, and there's a big sign on the door that says, closed for the holiday. Now, they're normally open on Sunday, so this surprised me because I didn't know July 3rd was a holiday. Since when did July 3rd become a holiday? But they were closed for the holiday. So we started calling around, seeing if any of the other FFLs were open, and nobody was open. They were all closed for the holiday. So here we are, sitting in the parking lot, can't make the sale legally. Now, if we were criminals, we'd just make the sale and go about our way. There's no way anybody would ever know. And in fact, we probably wouldn't get in trouble in our county anyway because the sheriffs in a lot of counties in my state have said, we're not going to enforce universal background checks. They say they're not in the habit of turning law-abiding citizens into felons just because they transfer their own private property when some politician didn't want them to. But we both wanted to be legal, so if we want to be legal, we have to use an FFL. And since there were no FFLs available to us at that time, we couldn't make the sale because we were good law-abiding citizens. Criminals could have made the sale, no problem whatsoever, but two law-abiding citizens were sitting there, can't make the deal. And I don't know what you would call it, but if I have the money and they have the gun and I can't get it because of some stupid law, that's an infringement on my rights. And let's not forget, our Second Amendment rights are not supposed to be infringed. That is definitely an infringement. Now, I'm hoping I'll be able to get the gun tomorrow when the FFLs open back up. I even posted a little polite note on our forum saying, someone please don't buy this gun. I would like to get it. Hopefully that will work, and hopefully tomorrow he'll sell the gun to me. But for right now, I have been infringed upon because I cannot get the gun that I want, even though I have the money and they have the gun and we live close enough to each other to meet and make the exchange. And it's because of this stupid universal background check law, which does nothing, like I said, to stop bad guys from selling guns if they want to. And plus, when you look at guns used in crimes, they're not bought from private parties. They're usually legally bought from an FFL, and they're bought from people that can legally buy a gun. So you're not stopping any crime. Even guns used in terrorist attacks are usually bought legally by the terrorist from an FFL. Or they have someone else who's legal to buy a gun, buy it from an FFL in a straw purchase for them to use. There's just no statistics that suggest that private sales are contributing in any significant way to crime. These laws are just a solution to a problem that doesn't exist, so you got to wonder, what's their real agenda? What do they really want to do with these stupid laws? And what they really want to do is just limit how you and I can transfer firearms. They want to have total control over who has a gun and when they have it and how they get it. And that is the textbook definition of government overreach, of government getting too involved in your life and infringing upon your rights. I mean, what are they going to do next? Are they going to say, well, there's too many people having car accidents and too many people driving without a license or driving without insurance. So we can't let people sell cars just between people anymore. They're going to trade it in to a licensed government dealer of cars, and they'll get whatever that dealer offers them for it when they trade it in. Is that what they're going to do next? Is that what we're going to allow them to do? So if you're one of these people that says, oh, universal background checks, there's no negatives to them. All they can do is good. They can't do any harm. Well, they don't do any good. They won't do any good, and they can do a lot of harm. Not just by infringing on the rights of people like myself to freely trade our own property, but they can be used in the long run for the government to know who has what and control when they get what. So universal background checks might not sound so bad, but here I am, a legal law-abiding citizen with money in my hand, and I don't have the gun that I wanted. I couldn't buy the gun because of this stupid law. And if you ask me, that's the definition of infringement.